going to, I have to say no to what I used to do. So 2 years ago, you can talk to me on the phone for an hour, 2 hours, and I would handle everything. So now I have to say no. We have to get up with the marketing team, get up with the administrator, and they can help you. Because if I say yes to this, then I will say no to the future.
That's true. That's true.
That's good.
Anybody
but
else?
you know you're manifesting those yeses, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hi, okay. So I think I can...
And introduce yourself. Sorry.
Okay, my name is V. Level Up with V is my Instagram handle if you're interested. I think that a lot of people could agree with me is that it would be a fear of rejection. So a lot of people don't go after their dreams, or they don't make that phone call, or they don't start that podcast because they're afraid of rejection or judgment, that they may not be good enough or whatever. And so I think that maybe that was my fear. It took me quite a while to even be able to stand up in front of people and talk. But I think once you do the thing and continue to do the thing, no matter what the first outcome is, and you continue to do it, you'll get over that fear.
Absolutely. Let me share something with you. We have our list of things we're afraid of, right? Look at the list. That list is comprised of things that hasn't even happened yet. It's not like we had a bully, right? I remember being afraid of a bully. That, if the bully beat me up, I'm afraid of that person, right? But for the most part, as we get older, we don't really face bullies like that. We face a bunch of stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Look at it. Okay, I'm afraid of saying no. What's the word? What will happen if you say no? I mean, nothing. I'm afraid of failure. Well, what will happen if you fail? Let me tell you how I got over that. And it was a realization that I had, like, dang, everything I'm afraid of hasn't even happened yet. There's no reason for me to be afraid of it. It hasn't even happened yet. So I'm thinking, man, I'm making good money on my job, and I started this t-shirt business, and I'm making money on the t-shirt business. And I'm like, man, I need to quit my job. But I was what? I was afraid. And I really had to sit down and think. And I was like, okay, what am I really afraid of? What am I really afraid of? And I write down, quitting my job, going broke, it doesn't work. And I said to myself, if I quit the Cheesecake Factory and I go full time with my business, if that business doesn't work, I'll have to go back and work at the Cheesecake Factory. That's something to be afraid of, right? But think about it. In the moment I'm saying it, I'm currently working at the Cheesecake Factory. My biggest fear was to quit and have to come back to where I am today. Isn't that crazy? My biggest fear is like what I'm doing right now, and I'm already doing it. That's what pushed me over the edge. And I said, oh, well, worst thing that could happen is I'll be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. What is there to fear? So think about it. You guys are afraid of failure, but you probably wouldn't call yourself a success now, right? In terms of business, because if you were, you wouldn't be going after the business. Does that make sense? So like, not making money in the business is your fear, but you're not making money in the business now. So at least let's go through learned experience. Maybe we can make a couple dollars. We can learn something. We can at least go after something so that our grandkids, we can sit around. One of my biggest fears was like having my kids and my grandkids sit around and I have no stories to tell. Or they can point at me and say, he didn't try. Nobody will ever say he didn't go for it. Give me a round of applause. That was good.
Oftentimes, it's not even the thing that you wrote down on your paper that you're afraid of. And I could even challenge what Dave is saying when you said, my fear at the time was having to go back to the Cheesecake Factory. It's even a step further than that. It's not really having to go back to the Cheesecake Factory that you were afraid of because you were already accustomed to that environment. You were afraid of the judgment that you would receive by going back to the Cheesecake Factory. So many of you wrote something down on your paper that really isn't the fear. 90% of what you're fearing is connected to, well, if somebody else recognizes this flaw in me, if somebody else recognizes this failure in me, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna think if I go from driving a Mercedes-Benz back to driving a Nissan Altima? What are they gonna think if I'm an entrepreneur today? If I scale my business and hire this team and it doesn't work, and I have to go back and get a job, or I no longer have an assistant, what are the people that I'm so worried about going to say about me? How am I going to be judged? You're afraid of judgment. And a way that I overcame being afraid of judgment, I wrote down the names of the people that would judge me. I wrote down the names of the people that would judge me. And then next to their name, I wrote out the great thing that they've done that was so impactful that their judgment actually mattered. I don't want you to miss that. Most of the time, we are afraid of being judged by people for trying something. These people haven't tried a thing. And you can say it, and you've heard that somewhere before. You've heard that already. But it wasn't until I'm such an action taker. I have to write it down. Sometimes I have to see it in front of me. I heard it before. I heard somebody say, don't worry about being judged by somebody who ain't doing anything with their lives. You're worried about your next move in your business by somebody who's never started a business. You're worried about showing somebody that you have to pivot in your business when they're still on the same job, underpaid, complaining about that same coworker over that same coffee machine in that same break room, pulling up to that same environment that drains them every single day. I want you right now, write down 3 names of people that you're afraid to be judged by. And then next to their name, write down what you know to be their greatest accomplishment. He said, I'm blank.
I actually had a plan too, because I did run this scenario in my head that if I had to go to the cheesecake, like if I had to go back to Cheesecake Factory, because it's a chain, I'll just go to one in another city. Don't nobody know me. That was a real plan of mine.
That's a fact.
I was like, let me just move to Kansas.
I did the same thing. I thought
I was going.
When I left my job in 2014, I was so afraid. I had moved my mom, I had moved myself into this luxury high-rise apartment building, right? Condo building. And I got real froggy. I moved my mama in too. I had her completely walk away from her home to move her into this condo building. And then I had the audacity to quit the job that allowed me to be in that position. And my mom didn't believe necessarily at that point in entrepreneurship. So I had to hide from my mom. I had to hide the possible failure from my mom. You ever been like at home, I don't know, in any environment, especially like when you were a kid and your parents come in the room and you were chilling, you were laying back, and then you got to jump up real quick and act like you were doing some work? That's like the energy that my mom gave me. When we lived together, anytime I heard her coming down the hall, I could not rest because I knew that every second she didn't see me moving, I was being judged. Now, my mom is a person that means the world to me. And I said that in 2014, when I left my job, if all else fails, Uber drivers were getting paid back in the day. I'm going to drive on the other side of town. Nobody lives in Ackworth that I know. I'm going all the way 45 minutes away, and I'm Uber driving every single day because it has to work or it has to work. There's always a backup plan. There's always a strategy that's available, but I didn't do that. Instead, I had to come to terms with, I understand that my mom is judging me, but I watched my mom over the years start a business and stop it, start a business and stop it, start a business and stop it. Here I am starting the business, and when things get hard, I keep going. And then I start another thing, and when things get hard there, I keep going. And then I have an obstacle that I'm confronted with, and guess what? I overcome it. And then another obstacle that I'm confronted with, and I overcome that too. And so I realized there's a distinct difference. I cannot be afraid of what my mom thinks about me in business because it looks a lot different than what I am actually doing. Seriously, think about those people that you are so fearful of being judged by. Most of you as parents, some of you as your spouse, others of you as your best friends. How dare you be afraid of being judged by friends who have less than you, who are doing less than you, who want less than you? We were talking about this backstage, about raising the bar for ourselves. Everybody say, raise the bar. Raise the bar. I'm going to be honest with you. Most of your bars are in the trash. He said, what? Word? Most of your bars are set so low. You only want this. If I could just do that. If I could only get this. What's the saying? If you aim for the stars, if you aim for the moon, you'll land on the stars. Most of you have earth level bars. You're not even aiming for the moon. Your bar is being set by the standard that somebody else gave you. My bar could have been the standard that my parents set for me. Go to school, become a chemical engineer. Black women are killing it in that industry, making all the money. You go to school, you graduate with that degree, you'll work in somebody's factory, and you're going to make $75,000 a year. That could have been my bar. Compared to what I've actually done and accomplished by betting on myself, would you agree that that bar could have been in the trash? I could have settled for $75,000, or I could be the Donni Wiggins today that made 7 figures. Which bar are you setting for yourself? What's your floor? What's your ceiling? There's a billionaire who says, I could have went for 7 figures. My bar would have been on the floor. I knew that I would become a billionaire earner. There's a trillionaire who's saying, oh, 7 figures? Laughable. Your bar, not only are your goals and your results based on somebody else, most of the time the things that you're aspiring to be are created by evidence of something that you saw somebody else doing. You come into rooms like this and you see people up here. You saw TJ on stage talking about real estate and how to acquire real estate. And now, anybody in here inspired to another level to go out there and make money in real estate? Raise your hand. Your bar in that area, your goal, your desire is set based on information that he gave you. You need more TJs, more Georges, more Carters, more Davids, more Donnies. Your bar right now is set based on those people who are judging you.
Or I think maybe it's based on what we feel we can accomplish, not what's possible. Yeah. So, man, if I really wish that you all just knew how powerful you really are. And you just knew what was possible. If you knew what was inside of you, like everybody claims, yo, I am God's child. You don't act like it.
Ooh, you don't act
I just remember being that, yo, I know, like my bar was set. There was a server, his name is Mac. Shouts out to Mac Jones, the best server in the world. He always consistently made more money than me. It was a real moment for me. I was like, I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, I thought it was pretty good. But I would ask him, how much you make tonight? I'm talking about on a good night where I make 200. He's like, oh, just 325. That's how he talked. 325. I'm like, dang, every time. So I remember just chalking it up to the fact that he's just better. My evidence of me was, this is what I do, and I'm just gonna try to beat myself. I gotta stop. I gotta stop even shooting for that because I'm like, oh wait, how long you been serving? Oh, I've been a server for 10 years. Oh, that's it. I only been a server for 4. That's why. So in my own mind, I'm saying this is what I can accomplish, and I'm setting my bar slightly above what I've been doing, which was nothing. So somebody came across, and this was the exit of my, this is like the beginning of the end of my job. When I started meeting people who were making 6 and 7 figures. In the conversations I had, and I wrote it in my book, I think I was like the creator of Take People to Lunch, because I wrote about it in my book in 14. And I started taking this guy to lunch, and he would just challenge the way I'm thinking. I say, I want to have a t-shirt store, and I want one store in every city in America when I'm building my t-shirt brand. He said, that's it? But when he said it, I got angry. It's like, you trying to belittle my dream? Further time, I realized, no, his bar is just higher. He's looking at me like, that's the goal. There are people in prison right now that their goal is to run the jail. To be the top dog in prison. My man Andre Norman talked about it. He said, yo, I was the king. I was the king of nowhere. Think about somebody calling you home from jail. Nah, I'm the man around here. Or, yo, I'm just trying to get to the next level. It's like 2 other people. If I take them off, I'm good. You like, why don't you focus on getting home? Let's just get home. But in our mind, we're in prison, and the highest we can go is being the best of what we've created in our head. So the hack, this is the hack. You got to get around people who see it bigger. That's it.
Write that down. You got to get around people who see it bigger. When I wanted to make 6 figures, I started to hang with people who made 6 figures. When I wanted to make 7 figures, I started to hang around people who made 7 figures. As simple as when I wanted to become an entrepreneur, I had to stop hanging around people who weren't actively pursuing entrepreneurship or already were entrepreneurs. Many of us are held back just by our own network, just by our own circle. Like if you're doing what somebody close to you is doing, you feel like you're doing good enough. Bars on the floor. You're hanging around people that you're doing better than, and so you think you're excelling and you're doing great. Bars in the trash. Because look at what you're comparing your result to. Time is not on our side. You guys know that, right? Like right now, we are in the middle of the best of our years. We are literally experiencing the best of our years. You have your best health. You have your best physical abilities. You have your best mindset.
My physical ability was a little bit, about 10 years ago, I could dunk. I used to be able to dunk. So I challenged you on the physical.
You were never able to dunk anything.
I just said I'm not in my best physical.
Let me say this.
I just want to challenge you right there.
This could be your bar.
My knees are different.
This could be your bar. The person who goes to the gym once a week and touches a machine for 2 minutes.
10.
This could be your bar. The person who is determined to be in the best physical shape of her life at age 44. And to do that, I'm working out every single day. Well, now 5 days a week.
I didn't know she was 44, did you? Go on, clap it up for being elderly and fine. Just fine and elderly.
Seriously, and even if I'm not, like, I'm probably not doing backflips and all that stuff like I was when I was a cheerleader, but I really feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. Do you know why I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life?
Why?
Because there was a period of like 3 years when I was in the worst shape of my life, and now I'm in such I'm in such more of a better position because I'm actually doing the work. Like I made a decision, and that's what many of you have to do. What's your next step and where you got to go? Write it down. Where do you immediately need to go? Put it in your phone, write it down. We should see all hands, fingers moving. Where do you immediately need to go right now? Raise your hand if the place that you need to go to get to the next level in your business, you've needed to go there for more than a year. It's been like a rolling thought. Raise them high. We're not judging, kind of, but raise them high.
And let me get somebody to the mic. I wanna know what you're feeling in these moments. Okay, I want you to just feel free to go to the mic. Okay.
Yep.
This is just a conversation we're having. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Carla with B-Song Art Gallery. So, I'm in a creative space, so I have a team and I have systems in place at the administrative level, or I have appointment setters, so I go out on sales. But I feel like I need to scale, I need to duplicate myself. But myself is a creative, I go to corporations and put art on their walls. So there's JP Morgan Chase, there's businesses that have art on their walls, but I curated that. So I don't know how to scale my expertise. I can scale below me, but I feel like I need more of me to have galleries all over the world and working with multiple corporations.
Yes. Do you know? And this is something that I'm working through right now. And I would say I need more me's, but the me that I am needs to be better at training and managing. So I don't want another me, right? I want to be better at finding someone to just carry out the task. For one, I don't know if I would want to hire me. You know what I mean? Because I'm all over the place. However, there's something that needs to be done. But like, for instance, as like VAs, I'm working on my ability to communicate with a virtual assistant who speaks another language what I want and how I want my videos to be edited. So I keep going through these people like, oh, that's not the one. Oh, that's not the one. That's not. And then I realize I need to figure out a way to communicate what I want. So now I'm just trying more. Hey, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. And they come back and it's wrong. I'm like, here's why it's wrong. And I realized the issue was I didn't know how to communicate what I wanted because I'm so good at doing it. So it's not finding another you, it's finding, okay, what is that one person, that one job title that will take my business to the next level? Do you have a mentor?
I have a mindset coach, but
You need a mentor.
I'm part of Houston Art Gallery Association, so I am around other galleries that have been around for 50 years.
You need to find someone that's done exactly what you want to do, because what they'll do is be able to, in just a few minutes, see what's wrong. You ever talk to somebody you've been struggling for 6 months on this thing, and then you ask Donni, hey, what should I do? She's like, oh, this.
Yeah.
Can I give her something real
Please.
quick?
My inspiration person, Larry Gagargason, Jay-Z, he has a song about him as well too, but like they don't talk much in my industry, art galleries. I don't know why it's so like hush hush a little bit. So sometimes people that I look up to, they really don't give back like we do in this room.
You reach
Okay.
out to him?
I have not.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
She was about to lie. She was about to lie to me. You saw that? I have.
Because we were about to ask for the receipts, for the social proof, all right? Okay, so for clarity, you're an artist.
Art dealer.
You're an art dealer.
I have a gallery, yes.
And you have a gallery. So you actually, these banks and these clients, they purchase prints from you?
They purchase originals.
They-
Some do prints as well too, but
They purchase-
my target client is doing originals.
They're purchasing originals from what type of artist?
Contemporary artists that I represent.
These are new artists?
Mixture.
Mixture of
Some new, some
artists.
older, yes.
And you want to pick up more clients. What makes your skill set so significant? You're an art dealer. Is your skill set in identifying great art?
Curating how it comes together. So if you walk into a corporation and you see the art, it's curated a certain type of way, so it's not just anything everywhere. There's a certain level of cohesiveness of the art in certain buildings.
Okay. How did you learn how to do that?
Time and time again, mistakes, talking to a few others, but just doing it.
So what I am hearing is a training program where you're offering the ability to teach other people who have an eye for curating a space, you're teaching it. I'm also hearing that you're identifying your star students. You're asking them to show their work. Show me how you would curate this space. So you're teaching them what to look for. Here's the layout. Here's how the shape should look. Here's how the lighting, like you have all of these different components. And then you're identifying your star students and you're offering them an opportunity to work alongside you. It sounds like affiliates. It sounds like partnership, because you can't possibly put your eyes on every single space if you want to scale. So it's really a simple answer. You're not looking for you. Here's the thing that I had to learn. I'm not looking for me in my business, like Donni, like David said. I could not work with another me in my business. What I am looking for, though, is somebody who is trainable and coachable, meaning first thing that I have to do is map out the process. So you map out your process, whatever it includes, all the components, the lighting, the colors, the wall size, the spacing. Map out all of those things. These are called SOPs, standard operating procedures. You map it out, and then you go out into the field and prove that these SOPs are accurate, and then you hire a person that has the ability to learn. One, the interest. Two, the desire, same kind of thing. But three, and most importantly, the ability to learn. And if you can find someone who has the ability to learn and your instruction manual is A1, you've solved your problem. You haven't found yourself. You found a student who was under your mentorship who can do the job as well as you do.
I was just talking, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel like that. You wish you had your...
Y'all can do that. You can do that. You can do that.
I think for us that want to replace ourselves, like Donni said, we have to really just take the time to write out our recipe. And I'm starting to realize that even creativity has a recipe. But you got to spend time figuring it out. So when you walk into a building, there's something about the opening that needs to be right? Is it low light in the, like when you first walk into the studio, is it low light, high light? Should it be open? Should it be narrow when you walk in? What should the floors, what's that experience? Should the good art or like the most expensive art be in the front or the back? What do you think?
That's a good question, depending on what the space is.
Should the art be like grouped in colors? Like some matted this side, it should be? And you probably have that stuff intuitively, but you need to start writing out the recipe. And then you could teach people how to look at it.
Beyond duplicating yourself and finding another you, the reason why this is critical, my daughter graduates college in a couple of weeks, right? I am training and developing her and my assistant to know how to do everything that I do. They may never be able to coach like me, but they'll be able to identify other coaches to carry my brand on, kind of like how Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher runs their business. Bob Proctor is long gone, right? But the business still operates. The reason that this is so important is because you are not working this hard, attending this many conferences, taking this many notes for your business to die when you do. So we either put the instruction manual together and teach somebody to do it good enough, or your business dies the day that you do.
Facts. With Reese and Zell, they'll tell you, I just know how I want something to look, but I don't tell them, hey, change this, change that. I'm always asking, you see something wrong with that? There's something clearly wrong sometime, and I'm like, Reese, look at this. What do you think? Because I want him to what? Think. I want him to, he has a way that, he has his own genius, right? But here, there's something that I want, but you can't start building a company by telling people what to do. You have to help them think, to try to adopt the thought process that you have. Yeah. And that's been the key for me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Greetings everybody, it's Billy with Billy Helps LLC, Billy_Helps_LLC on Instagram. While you all are talking up here, I kind of answered my own questions in your voices.
Give him a round of applause. Good, that's all right. Next question.
Well, it's because you and I had talked on the morning meetup about, then you're like, brand yourself and find out one thing. For one, I have a fear of being on a podcast. I don't want to be seen. Donni answered that question while I was up here, or that identified that reason why I'm up here. So I guess I do have to at some point start a podcast. But I also have shiny object syndrome. Like, in all these opportunities come my way, I tend to have a proclivity for things that I'm good at, to kind of, whether it's being a pilot or real estate wholesaling or selling solar panels or something.
Fast forward to the question.
Okay, so, well, that's the thing. My question was, I see so many people getting diverse eventually, but I don't know what the heck that timing looks like. I know that my goal in life is to own a bunch of real estate and own a bunch of restaurants. That's my passion. That's my heart. It's always been in me. But I don't know when I can. Every time I try and go step out and do something else, I kind of get slapped down a little bit. Like, I'll take a financial fade. I invested in a solar company this year, and I lost some cash, But then I stepped back in real estate wholesaling, my little lane, and I'm doing some deals now in my little short.
Why'd you invest in the solar?
Because
somebody told you it was good?
It's easy to sell to a salesperson. The guy he's an ethical, honest guy, but he's like, you have the personality to do this, and then I realized I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Hey, listen, if you're not focused on a goal, anybody will take you off the path. If you're not really locked in, everything is shiny to you. Everything. So I'm saying, if you are not convicted of something, so let's say you have a belief, and I don't know, the belief is, a Buddhist. They believe in Buddha, right? If you don't, I was going somewhere with this. If you don't truly believe in that faith, anybody will come and convert you. We'll see if you truly believe. You cannot, you will not see me arguing about my faith with anyone because I believe what I believe. I don't have to argue with you about it. I know where I'm going, right? And once you develop that, nobody can get you into solar, nobody can get you into Turo, nobody can get you into trading, nobody can get you into all this stuff. You cannot take us off the path of where we're going with shiny objects. You need that conviction, and you don't have it yet.
Other thing I would say, before investing in multiple opportunities, until you've hit your financial goal in the one opportunity that is your lane, stay focused. Just stay focused. That. And then second, until you have enough disposable income where taking a hit financially you can recover from easily, only invest in things that you understand. And it goes completely against the saying, lean not into your own understanding, right? But we're talking about investing large sums of money in something that we're trusting other people to run for us. And until you have enough money where those decisions don't impact you so strongly, only invest in things that you know about and stay in your lane until the goal has been met. So if you shouldn't even be thinking about starting another business or picking another shiny object until you're at least making six strong figures in your business and getting it to a point where it can sustain on its own. Sustainable, that was the word that I defined for you backstage.
Sustainability.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. We have 5 minutes.
And then we're going to get to a Q&A.
Because we have a Q&A. So Just make sure your question is related to this episode, because we're going to come back and do a whole Q&A.
Or if you have a comment on what we just talked about, it's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, so your original question was, where do you immediately need to go now?
Yeah.
So my thought process when I heard that was to pivot. And I thought about the judgment aspect, as far as who would judge me. And for one, there's a lot of people. I really don't care about everybody, but there's some people that I do. And so there was one person I thought of. When you said write down that list of 3 people, one person came up. Dave.
Me.
So.
Pew, pew, pew.
He's going somewhere, though, I'm sure. Let him finish.
Because of the expectations I've set for myself from being in the morning meetup, from social media, that all creates a sense of this has to be done. There's no other option. Even though this may not be the best that I can do, because there's something I may be more well suited for. But because I've started this, I have to see it through. That's kind of the thought process that goes through my mind. So that's the judgment aspect that I deal with. And I try to figure out how to.
I think that's good.
Yeah, for sure. But guess what? I won't judge you. And people can't judge you when you win. So I think there's some people that maybe you're afraid, like your spouse doesn't believe in your goal, or you're about to change and your spouse doesn't believe in it, but you probably haven't given that spouse any reason to believe that what you're about to do is going to work. Because you keep jumping around, or nothing, you haven't stayed focused. So you've been in the car rental space for a minute, and that shows like it's not like you've been hopping around here and there. I've been able to witness you leave your job. I've been able to witness this stuff. So if you have a reasoning for going after it, you got to go after it with the belief that, oh, this is going to work. I'll show you guys in a minute. Don't worry. So I kind of like pivoted into podcasting, where I remember just saying, yo, I am a podcaster. I want you to address me as a podcaster. There's a lot of people that didn't understand it. But I did. And what's cool is the people who know you got their own stuff going on, and they don't really care what you got going on. And we think because we have a couple thousand people following us that they care about what we're doing. Most of them won't even know you changed.
Only 10% of them see your post.
Yeah, bro, go after it. And we not working for the people that follow us anyway. How many people got over 100,000 followers? By the time you win at something, you'll have 300,000, which the first 100,000, they'll have stopped following you, or you're not even on the timeline anymore. And this new 200,000 will follow this new journey. Go after it. But don't be quitting for quitting's sake. When I talked to you earlier, you're like, yo, there's changes in the industry, there's shifts, things of that nature. It's not like, yo, it hurts, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Don't quit off of emotion. Let's give it some good thought. And if you figure this is the pivot, let's go. Let's go.
I really appreciate that.
Let's do it. Clap it up for him.
Yes.
One more,
y'all,
and then we can finish our podcast.
If we are concerned about these followers judging us, because I know people in real life who are like, yo, my followers gonna be like blah, 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 blah if I do X, Y, and Z. I want you to really think about what has to be wrong if we are concerned about strangers that we have never met and probably will never meet.
And they're our followers.
And they're our followers. They subscribe to you, and we are afraid to make a move because we're scared of being judged by these people. They hit the button.
They hit a button to follow you.
They hit a button to follow you. And most of those people you aren't even following back. You don't even care enough about them to follow them back, but you care enough about them to say stuck.
Come on.
Something got to be wrong.
Yeah.
Big time. All right, let's get it.
Hey, I'm Jamal. My question was in relation to what you said. Where should we immediately go? And then you mentioned the path and finding conviction. My question is, what do you do if you don't know where to go? If you don't have the belief, you don't have the conviction, you don't have the path, you don't know where it is?
Really good question. And my answer is, do something.
Yep.
So whatever path you choose, we're not God. We don't know the end result. And if I was trying to pick the perfect thing, I'd have never picked anything. Because there's going to be ups and downs, valleys and peaks, good and bad with everything. But the thing that you pick, I don't want you to focus on the success of the thing that you picked. I want you to focus on the successful person that you're becoming through consistency. Can I pick something and stay there for 3 years? Can I sit there and learn what business is about? Can I figure out how to not spend all the money that I make? Can I get up and actually knock on doors every single day? I just want to see the progression in myself, not the thing. So when I was selling t-shirts, I first set a goal to make X amount of dollars, and it just wasn't working out. And I realized it wasn't working out because I can't control someone taking money out of their pocket and giving it to me. You know when I really started to succeed? When I set a goal that was 100% in my control, which was to ask 10 people to buy a t-shirt every day. Some days, nobody bought. but I would still celebrate because I completed the task that I set. And this was my process of saying I'm gonna do something and actually doing it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the hardest thing for all of us. Saying I'm gonna do something and actually doing it. And if you can develop that, it developed a work ethic. Oh, I gotta get up and talk to 10 people. Oh, it's 10:30 at night. I need to go out to the grocery store and just talk to random people. Hey, I got a t-shirt brand. Would you like to buy this t-shirt? I've done that. Because the goal was that much for me. I remember calling people that I called yesterday and asked them today, hey, would you like to buy a t-shirt? It's funny, but on the second, third time, they bought.
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about the outcome. Let me just do my work.
Yeah.
And let's let the work take care of itself. I know if I plant and water and give it ample light, eventually, the garden will take care of itself. That was 60 minutes.
That was 60 minutes. Give it up if y'all learned something in here today.
So we're gonna jump into a Q&A. Probably give y'all about 5 little nap. You good? Everything. She took a little nap on us. It wasn't audible though. We couldn't hear it. I could just see it.
Who took a nap?
Right there. Dang, really calm down.
Were we uninteresting for you today? It's because it's so cold in the room.
She had a long day.
You had a long day. We are right after. They just rush hour traffic. All of that happened. You guys, it's our goal to make sure that you got something from today. Just scream it out. You don't have to come to the mic. What's the first action step you're taking after being in this room, having this conversation today? First thing you're doing? Yeah. Buying software.
What was it?
Being consistent. Finding an ingredient. Oh. What's your ingredient? What's the missing ingredient for you? Consistency is your missing ingredient. We said we were asking. Software. Consistency. Somebody else say it loud. Confidence is the missing ingredient. That's a big one.
How are you going to develop the confidence?
No.
How you going to rob a bank? We'll just rob it. We'll just walk in there. Give me the money. I got a gun. We really, in all seriousness, we have to have a strategy or a plan. How do we develop confidence? We have to put ourselves in positions where we want to be, where we get to practice confidence somehow.
I want you to ask that question in the Q&A. How do I develop confidence? Give me 2 more. Who else? What's your missing ingredient? Mindset and belief. Somebody else? Transparency. Okay, so here's your next step. For those of you who are watching, you should have been here. Here's your next step. We are about to move into a Q&A. We're bringing George and Carter back. Whatever this missing ingredient is for you, your next question should be what? How do I get the missing ingredient? So everyone who shouted out a missing ingredient, I want you to ask. And if somebody already has the same missing ingredient as you, take notes. But we're going to be talking about how to get the missing ingredient, because just doing it is not the answer.
For sure. Let me get some music. I don't even want y'all talking and networking right now, but while we set up, I want you in your phone, on your notes, working on the missing ingredient, okay? Let's figure it out. DJ, let's do this. Oh, hold on. Okay, pause that. That ain't thinking music. I need some thinking music, okay? Oh, we gotta close out our episode, that's right. Oh.
This has been another amazing episode of the Social Proof Podcast. If you got something from today, make some loud noise.
Houston, HOU. Are they gonna be a part of our Patreon?
Are you guys gonna be a part of our Patreon? If you're gonna be a part of our Patreon, make some loud noise.
Yo, and like right after the episodes, we do like Q&A like this live while you're streaming, and
every single week.
Yeah, if you like, it's lit.
It's lit. It's lit. It's lit.
Give them the number in the.
Okay, get your phones out. I'm giving you 10 seconds. 10. Somebody count it out for me. 9, 8. Where we at? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8. Okay, 404.
Must you twerk everywhere?
Every single time. Y'all like to see me twerk?
Ghetto.
Yes. Okay, married men, don't get beside yourself, okay? Here's the phone number real quick. She's looking like, ma'am, sit your behind down. 404-737-2767. And all you have to do is text the words H or the letters HOU, and you get the link to join our members exclusive social proof community.
There it is.
And we out.
We out. DJ.